Hi and welcome back to Beyond the Kit. My name's Brett Morgan. Today we're touching on something that I still have a big love for, which is the rockier side of stuff. And our guest is the great Keith Murrell. Now, there's very few people that can sort of cut that stuff, and Keith, being really versatile, can seriously do it. And if you don't know much of Keith, he's worked with the likes of Joe Cocker, The Who, AC/DC, Def Leppard. There's a fantastic story about the band Foreigner, and also, many artists. And hearing his transition from that sort of life into the session scene, where there's many stories about that also. So I hope you get a lot out of this. I'm sure you will. I wanted to thank Keith very much for taking the time out. We had a fantastic day and caught up on a lot of things. So I hope you enjoy. What age were you when you got into singing?
Well, singing, I suppose, on the stage, probably like in my early teens, that kind of thing. Like school bands and that kind of stuff like that.
But before that, were something you must have like got into it. Something got you when you were much younger than that.
Yeah, I don't know. My mum always sang around the house. We always had like radio on and stuff.
And you
my mum used to play a bit when she was younger.
Did she?
Play the Joanna in the pubs and stuff like that during the war and stuff.
Wow.
So my mum was musical, and we always had music on in the house.
Yeah.
And my aunt bought me a drum kit. Funny enough, it's funny,
No way.
It's funny telling you that.
Wow.
Have you seen me play drums? No. So I had a little Premier kit, and I learned to play a bit, and then from there on, I wanted to be a musician. So.
Did you?
Yeah. So
really?
No, I mean not a drummer. So
was that a gag, Keith?
So they got a band together, and they started like doing really well. And I had my school band; it was great and all that. But they were doing gigs and all sorts.
What, already?
So by the time I got to like 15, they were like doing gigs and pub gigs and stuff like that. So the mate of mine who was also a drummer, who was my best mate at the time, Dave Gallagher, he said to me, "Look, why don't you come and join our? This is mad. Why don't you join our band? You know?"
Yeah.
So I actually joined that band as a keyboard player, even though I didn't play keyboards. So I learned a few chords. I played a bit of keyboards, a bit of guitar, and did backing vocals.
Wow.
And that went on. I did my first gig, I suppose, when I was around 15 in pubs and stuff like that.
Brilliant. So you're doing like gigs in pubs already?
Yeah. Pretending that I was 16, you know.
How fantastic.
And then all around South London, where I was from.
Yeah.
And then it got to the stage where it wasn't working out with the singer, even though they were really good friends. And so the singer was gone, and we had gigs.
Wow.
And they said to me, "You're going to have to sing." So literally overnight, I became like a lead singer.
Keith mustn't hear this, but when I first met Keith, bloody hell, I was absolutely blown away. I remember it was quite a hell of a long time ago now, wasn't it? But yeah, it was Sonia that introduced me to Keith, and I heard him sing, and it was like, Jesus, where the hell did this guy come from? I was really blown away. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it just reminded me of like Paul Rogers or something. You know,
he was a hero of mine. He was.
Was he? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I can hear.
There's a story about how that all came about, because after being I was in my South London band, and we'd been mates for years and did loads of gigs, but we kind of was always trying to get somewhere, and it wasn't really going anywhere. And then I got a call out of the blue from a band called Air Race.
Yeah.
That were just starting. They were about to sign a deal with Atlantic Records. They were managed by a guy called Peter Grant, who used to manage Led Zeppelin.
Major, yeah.
Bad Company, who are a favourite band of mine.
Yeah, me too.
And the reason Peter was managing the band is because the drummer in the band was Jason Bonham, which was John Bonham from Zeppelin's son. So Peter was managing the band. I got asked to go on an audition. I didn't write at that time, right? But they needed somebody who wrote, and straight away we started writing, and I got the gig. And within no time at all, that band, we'd signed to Atlantic, and we had a record deal.
Unbelievable.
I gave up my proper job.
Wow.
And I haven't.
Can you remember what year?
I haven't looked back since.
What year was
I
that?
don't know. I think I must have been like early 20s, something like that. So it'd been like.
Well, for you, it must have been like a
years
century
ago. Yeah, like 1981, something like that, 82. Thanks. Dan. I joined Air Race, and we made our first album. Went to New York to make our first album.
Wow, what a hell of a buzz!
Yeah, it was an amazing time.
Yeah.
And then we started touring, and we did some amazing tours. We toured with bands like Def Leppard, Meatloaf, AC/DC.
I mean, these are monsters.
Queen.
Jesus.
And, as a fan of bands like that, it's like, in fact, the funny thing with the Queen thing, we'd just done 2 shows with AC/DC in Europe, which was amazing in itself.
Yeah.
And then we got, I was phoned home to speak to my mum, I think at the time. My mum was my biggest fan.
Yeah, of course.
She only died last year. She was 97, but up until then she was always my biggest fan.
Yeah, of course.
And
she was lovely.
I rang home to speak to my mum about that. So we got a message. You got to ring your mum. So I rang my mum. I was like, "What's going on?" She said, "Oh, you've got to call your agent. Something about a tour with Queen." And I was thinking, Mum always gets stuff wrong,
Yeah, she got that wrong.
So I said to our manager, you got to call back to the agency, something. My mum said something about Queen, she's probably got it wrong. Anyway, it was. And literally a week later, I was back in the same venue in Paris, which was the Palais Omnisport, which was held 17,000 people. Instead of opening for AC/DC, we were opening for Queen. And I was like,
man.
I was like,
you can't get much.
Died and gone to heaven.
Yeah, it's like you can't really get much bigger than
really, they were one of my hero bands anyway.
And there you are amongst it all.
And they're like, we are opening for them. And literally, I got that real feeling when, because as a support band, you don't know how you're going to be received by people.
Really true, yeah.
With AC/DC, we got cans and coins thrown at us because the band that was meant to be there was Motley Crue.
Right.
And they were already a pretty big band.
Yeah.
And
so they were kind of disappointed they weren't on.
The promoter didn't tell the audience until we were about to walk on.
So my God.
In French, "Sorry guys, Motley Crue are not here, but don't worry, we've got Air Race." And they went mental.
Well, they would have done, yeah.
So we got Canada. Anyway, we got through it. So we're playing to their audience and they're loving us. So yeah, it's quite pretty special. It was a special time. And
I mean, you can never forget moments like that in your life. How can you?
Basically,
it's like
a kid's dream, isn't it?
And also, I saw you, obviously, not such big name like we've just mentioned, but you're an amazing. I saw you at that time when I was introduced to you earlier. It was on at that time, and you were like lead singer of a band called Mama's Boys. In town.
Well, so I'd already started doing sessions then, as you know, But I got a call. Fantastic Irish rock band.
Yeah, brilliant.
3 brothers they were, all amazing people.
Yeah.
And the singer was advised that he should no longer sing because he had throat problems, and they wanted to bring a singer in. They asked me to join the band. So whilst actually I was doing a show in London, I was finishing the show, going on to record the album with them till 4 o'clock in the morning, and doing sessions the next day. So it was kind of a mad time. But yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, it really was. It was a great band. You're an amazing performer.
You saw us at the Astoria or somewhere like that, didn't you? Because it was down across the street from where we were doing a show at the Dominion, wasn't it? Dominion, where we did that show Time.
God, yeah. Mike Moran.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So the weird thing that you were talking about when you met me, funnily enough, I mean, I'm lucky that I managed to come like you from that rock world.
Yeah.
But to get into doing sessions that way, because
isn't it weird how it works?
It's so weird because I didn't read or anything. I didn't come up through the session route. I hadn't got a music college or anything like that. I knew that there were session musicians.
Yeah.
I knew that they existed, but I didn't know anything to do with that world, And the way I got into it was because when the band had all fallen apart and everything, Air Race I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We had this crazy American fan.
Yeah.
And she got a job in London in Wardour Street working for a guy called Jonathan Hodge, who you know well. Anyway, he was saying to her one day, "I'm getting fed up with using all the same singers. You don't know any singers, do you?" And brought our album in. And that afternoon, I think I was in Wardour Street in his office, and that's how my session career started. And it was from that Sonia said, oh, my husband's making his own album at the moment. Would you come and sing on that? And that's how I met you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally from doing your album and meeting Sonia.
Yeah.
I'd started to do a few jingles and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't prolific. And then Sonia rang me to say that she was working on this new show, which is going to be on in the West End, starring Cliff Richard.
Yeah.
Called Time, which was Dave Clarke's show, which you were working on.
Yeah.
And
Dave
all the
Clarke,
guys.
Mike Moran got all of that together.
Mike Moran
I
was
mean,
the
God,
MD.
I personally owe Mike
Me
so
too,
much.
me
you
too.
know. What incredible amount of stuff he gave me from a young age.
Yeah, yeah.
And got all that time together. At that moment, I can say time again now. At that time,
Yeah.
with Time,
Yeah.
I think it was the first show ever, or certainly in Europe or something, where it had hologram.
That's right.
It was, wasn't it?
But that wasn't the only first as well, because it was the first show in the West End that had used a session band. Because up until then,
That's right.
all the bands in the West End had been pit bands.
Pit player, yeah.
And because of Dave Clarke's history,
Yeah.
his background in pop and rock and
Bands
everything,
and
he wanted his show to have all the
different-
the top guys, like the top session players from the day.
amazing
And,
fun that was. There you are coming on like all these. Well, you can't get any bigger bands.
Yeah.
You just can't. And you're working with them, and then 1 month suddenly your life kind of changes.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're stepping into this different sort of vibe.
Yeah. I remember saying to someone, if I had to be I always like harmonies, right?
Yeah,
And I remember
just
saying to
right.
someone, if I had to be a backing singer, like,
Yeah.
not a lead singer, you know. And I said, it'd have to be for someone like Cliff Richard. And literally weeks later,
I remember that.
be careful what you wish for.
I mean, again, at that time, working with Cliff, I mean, right, he was massive then,
yeah.
right? He could sell out anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up working with him on and off for 26 years. I might be working with Cliff 1 minute, but The Who the next.
Yeah.
So that was my first foray into touring, like with another artist. And as you say, he was huge.
And really, oh my God, really intricate voicings you three had. Who was in that?
So it's myself, Mick Mullins, and Peter Howarth. And it changed over the years. But we were the core three. We did a lot of work.
It's an amazing sound, man. It was amazing.
I mean, we worked together so closely and so frequently. So sessions would range from jingles, TV shows, singing on other people's records. So at that time, a big thing for singers was to sing on jingles.
Yeah, well,
Because
it's a great.
We got repeat fees.
Yeah, you got
And to do jingles, a lot of jingles, you had to be kind of versatile, which I used to think I wasn't, because I'd come from like one field,
Yeah, yeah.
But I started suggesting other people for things, thinking, I can't do that. And I thought, hang on a minute, I can do this. And I'm quite a good mimic. So there was a trend at that time of jingles in like taking off other famous tracks.
Yeah.
That's when you could do it without getting sued. So I could say, can you do a Harry Connick Jr. or could you do this and could you do that? And because I could, I ended up getting
seriously busy.
Loads of jingles.
That carried on for many, many years. That it really was a ridiculous time. And we had a lot of parties as well, didn't we? A lot of partying, we have to admit.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of fun, a lot of
parties.
parties.
And,
a lot of them at your house.
Yeah, it was that. We're paying him quite a bit of money. We can stop doing that. Let's just buy him out at a fraction
of the cost
of what it would have been.
I remember, you got to learn what clients were looking for, and how you could give them what they were looking for. And the whole thing about learning what people wanted. I remember getting asked to do like a Wagon Wheels commercial, and this is when I'd become more confident,
Yeah.
And they had the film and everything, and people would typecast you, like, as they say. So they showed me the film, and one of the agency guys said, "Oh, you're the little one," obviously. So I was thinking, okay, that's fine. I'm not a tall guy. And so I immediately thought, okay, how can I make this sound like the guy that they're looking at, the character they're looking at in the cartoon? So I thought, okay, so because he's a little one, maybe they'd expect his voice to be higher.
Yeah, a bit squeaky.
And because it's a Wagon Wheels thing, maybe if I sound like an old timer.
Oh, yeah.
So I started singing and talking like this.
Brilliant.
And I went in and I sang it like that. And they went, That's what we want.
Bang on, man.
It's just not he's singing the Polly Pockets.
Hang on, he was hanging out. He's doing Bad Company or something. Yeah.
As you know, there was so much TV work as well.
Oh, there's loads.
Every TV show had music in it.
Yeah.
You did it all.
Yeah. It was Harold. Oh my God. I'm hoping to get Harold on. Harold Fisher. Amazing.
Harold Fisher was
Absolute legend. You did a lot of touring in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a lot of touring.
Yeah.
Did you find that hard? Or did you kind of... I know it's different when you're young, but you might not have liked it when you're young. I don't know.
No, I loved it.
You loved it,
yeah. When I was younger, it was great because we were all, we're all like roughly the same age. We're all mates together.
Buzzing.
We're all like getting up to all nonsense on tour.
Totally.
And being paid to go to lovely places, staying in nice hotels.
Yeah.
But some of those sessions that you walked into, like you never, as you know, you never knew when you got to a session what you were going to be doing.
No.
One day I got to a David Mindell's session, and I said, "Oh, what are we doing?" And he said, "Are we doing Bohemian Rhapsody?" Because he'd written a spoof of Bohemian Rhapsody for his show, and I was like, "Whoa, okay,
hang on a minute.
Who else is on the session?" And he went, "No one."
Just you.
Yeah, having to stack up all the vocals, all the parts, and quickly run through them. Oh God, yeah. So there was always a challenge. Let's put it that way.
And someone like yourself, I hope you don't mind, but you are a perfectionist with things like that. It doesn't matter what it is. You all want to do as best as you can bloody do.
Of course.
At that time, don't you?
Yeah.
So something like Bohemian Rhapsody, which is an absolute work of art.
Yeah.
I don't know what the original Freddie. I think it was something like 60.
Oh, ridiculous!
Overdubs or something.
So
it's incredible.
We're trying to do a cut down, cheap version, but still make it sound authentic.
Great. If you know Paul Rodgers from Bad Company, check Keith Murrell out. All these sessions that you've been doing over the years, it's like you must have got some stories or something about some of them.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I got quite a few stories. I mean, obviously, some sessions are more memorable than others. And it can often be, if it's like your absolute heroes. Yeah. I mean, I was talking before about, like working with Queen and Freddie, which was like amazing for me as in my early 20s, like fantastic. But I got a call one day. I think it was either from Mike Moran or Mike had put me and Mick Mullins up to do a session, and it's for George Harrison. Now, we'd both worked with quite a lot of famous people at the time. Yeah. But this is a Beatle.
This is one of the Beatles.
It's like one of your first memories of music. And so we were like, oh shit, George Harrison. Anyway, it was, the engineer was Richard Dodds,
Yeah, God, brilliant.
And basically George was doing a best of Dark Horse period of his career, and they didn't have enough tracks, so they were recording a couple of new tracks. And I think Jeff Lynne was, because he was around the Travelling Wilburys era.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Lynne was producing the new tracks, and it was at George Harrison's house in his studio.
Yeah.
And so Mick and I were like, Mick's a massive Beatles fan.
Of course,
like we all are, everyone is. So we were like, oh my God, it's like George Harrison.
We were dreaming.
Like, so we'd gone from being like working with whoever to like being little kids.
Oh, fantastic.
So anyway, we pull up to the entrance, this grand Gothic staircase, and we get sent upstairs to like the studio. So we go in to see Richard's there and everything. Come in, guys. And he said, "Oh, sorry, but George is going to be a bit late because he's got some family over, and I think he's in the pool with the family." He apologises in his house, in his studio, and he's apologising to me. Whatever, George, you're fine. We were whatever. We were just like looking around, in the ante room before the studio. The Gretsch is on the wall, and it's like ridiculous.
It's like dream-like.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so eventually George comes up and says, "Sorry guys," and we were like, "You're fine." He was wet still. Yeah. And Richard's kind of introducing us, and he says, "This is Mick and Keith," and he said they're in Cliff's band, and George Harrison said, "I know, I've seen yous on the telly." And it was like,
oh my God.
Did he just say he's seen us on the telly?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
wait a
we
sec.
were lit. I've seen you on the telly, but yeah. So that was kind of like a one of those sessions whereby
you can't forget.
You literally can't get more than
No.
to the top of the tree, like with the Beatle.
Totally.
Yeah, we sang on the track, and yeah, it came out on the album. And
Oh,
I credit along with
How
Steve
fantastic.
Winwood and everyone else that was on the album, right?
And I bet he was a lovely guy, right?
He was the loveliest guy. Put you at such ease.
Correct. And I bet that was through Mike Moran.
It was through Mike. They used to do a lot of stuff with George.
With everyone.
All the handmade film stuff that they did in the pipe.
Yeah, that's right.
And all that.
Ray Cooper and
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Ray Cooper, percussionist with Elton John, to name hundreds probably. I owe Mike so much for my career.
Like we all do.
We all do. Incredible.
It's great. He's always been there,
Yeah.
But there are other sessions that are memorable for different reasons.
Of course.
There's a funny one. I know that you've recently spoken to Tessa Niles.
She's coming
Niles
on.
Top session singer.
Amazing.
With everyone. I got a call at home, and we were doing work on our house in Battersea, and I think I'd been going to the tip with building stuff, and I was literally covered in crap,
Yeah.
And then I got a phone call from Tessa saying, "Can you come do a session, like now?" No. And it was over at Power Plant, which was Morgan originally, wasn't it? One of those. Didn't your dad own one of those? Anyway, it's in the same street. It was the one on the corner. I think it might. Yeah,
it would have been Dad's. Yeah.
So I was like, well, I've just been to the tip. So can you quickly get a shower and come over and need you now? So like, yeah. Anyway, so off I get, quickly rushing over to Willesden. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I thought it looks like Cher, and then it suddenly occurred to me, that's why this sounds like a Cher record. Because it is a Cher record, because that's Cher in there.
There she is.
Like,
I know at the time you're like you're busy working, building up your tracks, making them sound happening. And you're driving home or whatever, and you're going, I've just been working with George Harrison,
I know.
Cher, Aerosmith or whatever,
yeah.
And you're going, Jesus.
So Brett's dad, Barry Morgan, was like the most incredible musician. Your mum and dad were at our house.
Okay.
And I got a call to say, can you come and do a session for Jimmy Page and Robert Plant in Bridge? Do you remember Bridge Studios in Wandsworth?
I don't know.
It's on Wandsworth Bridge Road. It used to be right on.
Was it always called Bridge?
Yeah, I think it was called Bridge Studios.
I'm not sure.
It'd been there for years. And it was really down the road from me. And it was me, Mick Mullins and Pete Howarth.
Yeah, great sound.
And they said, oh, they're doing like an old track. They want like a vocal group, Jordan Ayres type, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, what now? Yeah, come as soon as you can, right. So I said to your dad, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to go off to a session. He went, great, like he would,
Yeah, of course.
And then I told him what I was doing. He said, oh, remember me to Jimmy. And I'd forgotten that in the early days, your dad would do sessions with, he did sessions with everyone. But him and Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, in fact, from Led Zeppelin, they were like a rhythm section. They did loads of sessions together. And when he said that to me, I was thinking, of course I will, but Jimmy's had a lot of stuff going on over the years.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. I don't know how much you'll remember, but I'm going to say it anyway, So anyway, I turned up at the studio, Bridge Studios, and there's a 60-minute crew, which is a show from America, a really big show from America. And this thing we were doing was for an album, you know the label Sun Records?
Yeah.
Which was started by, what's his name, Phillips, which was like one of the records that Elvis recorded for.
Oh, not Gordy, no. That's Motown, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was the early days of rock and roll in the 50s.
Yeah.
Sam Phillips set it up, and Elvis recorded on it, and all those rock and roll stars.
Right.
And this was a film. I hadn't realised this was a film about that record label and songs from that era. And I turn up at the studio, and there's like Ahmet Ertegun, who's like the head of Atlantic Records, is there. I'd been signed to Atlantic Records.
You were signed to.
Phil Carson, who had signed me to Atlantic Records and looked after Zeppelin as well, he was there. Wow. A guy called Robert Rosenberg, who used to work with the Who's management, also looked after Jimmy Page. Loads of people there, 60-minute crew. It's like, whoa, hang on, what's going on? Anyway, we go in the studio, and I sit down and say hi. I'd met Jimmy and Robert before because of my connections with Peter Grant.
Of course.
And I say hi to Jimmy, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I've just come from home, and my father-in-law says to say hi to you." You know.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, who's your father?" And I said, "A drummer called Barry Morgan." He went, and I'm expecting him to go whatever, and he went, "Oh my God, Barry Morgan, how's he doing?" He started talking to me about all sessions they'd done. He'd remembered loads of stuff, and was talking about your dad so fondly.
How beautiful!
And it was, it was just a nice, moment for me to, be on a session like that with those guys and just say, "I've just come from home."
Yeah, God, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I mean, I never knew. There's a lot of artists that Dad worked for. I mean, loads of artists. And he never told me.
No, he never talked about stuff.
He never spoke about things like that. Yeah. Incredible.
I mean, we talked about this earlier, and I remember saying to your dad one time, "You've got to write a book because all this is going to be gone one day and no one will know."
Yeah.
And the famous phrase that your dad said, which is, "It's all bullshit." It's like,
I can see it.
You know what I mean? But that's easy coming from you.
Yeah,
who's done everything and can do it. But he genuinely he said,
he didn't
feel and time.
That was it.
Everything else is bullshit. And that I was saying to you earlier, I get what he was saying. Yeah. But what he's forgetting is that he changed people's lives.
Yeah, totally.
With his playing, and music can have that effect on people. You can change someone's life with a piece of music. So it is bullshit. It's not. Look, we all know it's not rocket science. It's not like open heart surgery. We're not saving people's lives, but you can make a difference to someone's life.
Yeah, that's what music does, right?
And it is such a powerful thing, music.
Oh my God, just global language, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was a lovely, memorable.
That was a really lovely story. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah.
And let me just.
It's so Dad to just. He really was incredibly grounded. Never, as a dad.
He wasn't easily impressed, your dad.
Not really, no.
No.
It's all about people. Are they good people? That's all.
Yeah.
That was a family man.
He was the best person.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. One of the things that he used to say, exactly that to me. But you can have the best chops in the world, whatever. It doesn't mean shit if you haven't got great feel and great time.
And that's so true.
And that stuck with me since I was about 6 years old, when I actually started to work out what that meant. He used to play me so many albums. When he got the chance to see him, I got more chance to see him than my brothers and my sister.
Yeah.
So because I used to sneak to work with him, and later on work with him. But as I said before, I'm going to do a talk on Dad. But he used to introduce me to all these bands when I was really young. I'm talking about 6, 7 upwards. Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Yeah.
All that sort of music. All down to Dad.
Yeah.
We all know about these stories, and there's been loads of. This has happened quite a bit throughout what we do. But have you ever? I'm sure you have. Have you ever sung on something where it's quite a big artist, let's say, well-known artist, and they're not actually singing on the thing? If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're actually doing it.
Kind of ghosting, as we call it.
Is it called ghosting?
So sometimes it will be maybe not a big artist. It might be like an artist no one's ever heard of, and then it becomes successful. I mean, I've had 3 #1 platinum albums in Belgium as a boy band, and it was just me and one other singer.
Oh my God!
They never sang any of it.
Quite common stories, aren't they? Those things.
Yeah. So that's one thing. But sometimes you would, like maybe live, be asked to double track someone, like on the high notes or whatever. Yeah. I've done that. And sometimes you would literally get asked to sing on someone's album, and I got a call. It's for an album that was an artist album from a West End show.
Is that the only clue?
Yeah, the West End show was a big West End show, and like all big West End shows, there was the cast album, but there was also an artist album where all famous artists sang different tracks, right? And this particular artist who always worked with this with this producer, had sung, and I think he hadn't been very well or something, and he couldn't finish his vocal, and they couldn't tune it, they couldn't do anything to make it sound great, so they big chunks of it that they couldn't use. So then I get asked to go and do an impression
of that
of him replacing his vocal on a lot of that record. And I ended up staying in the end and doing back. A lot of the 9 sessions, by the way, I was sitting down watching telly because they had so much money. They kept saying, "Oh, we're not ready for you yet. We're not ready for you yet."
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, and that wasn't cheap.
No, of course not.
So I put a big invoice in.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was the hardest job I've ever done. I think that because I had to sing some parts, I had to sing along with them, and double track it.
Oh God.
But because that one wasn't in tune, I had to make it slightly sharp and then do another one which was slightly flat to make it like a block.
So were those days no auto tune or any of that?
There was auto tune,
but they didn't want that.
They
because
didn't,
you can hear that.
Yeah, and this guy had quite a big vib, so
yeah. Okay.
It also came out on that artist's greatest hits.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know. I might be speaking out of order, but if I was that artist, and obviously you're well known, I don't know how I would feel about that. Well, someone else...
They might not have known. He might have left the studio with his vocal down and they might have said, great. One thing that I remember doing, which was memorable just from a vibe point of view for me and us, songs that we knew growing up.
Yeah.
I got asked to do... Mick Ronson, who played with Bowie?
Yeah.
So when he passed away, there was a memorial tribute gig for him.
Okay.
And there needed to be a house band.
Yeah,
to take all the artists, and I got asked to be with myself, May McKenna, and Miriam Stockley. We were the backing vocalists, and the band, the drummer was Roger Taylor from Queen. Yeah, and there was a nucleus of a band.
Wow, man!
And we rehearsed at Roger's house actually, which was kind of funny. Rehearsing at someone's like that garage. He lived in the middle of the woods down in Surrey, and the garage door. We were rehearsing in the garage with the garage doors open, But anyway, so we did the show.
No noise complaints.
No noise. We did the show at Hammersmith Odeon, and the people that came to sing, and artists that came on, were people that we'd grown up listening to.
Oh my God!
So, for instance, Steve Harley from Cockney Rebel.
Yeah.
And he did Come Up and See Me.
Oh wow!
So I got to do backing vocals
with him
on a track that I'd listened to growing up
as kids,
doing those parts that I'd learned from being a kid,
Bloody hell.
And a song which I really love from the era, which is actually written, I think, by David Bowie.
Right.
A song called All the Young Dudes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Man,
yeah. Ian Hunter from Mott the Hoople. But there were times as well in your career where you inevitably almost get drawn back into being an artist again because someone will ask you to join a band or something like that.
I mean, I was going to actually mention that. I was going to say, where did it get to? Because obviously, all those different dynamics. There you are, starting as doing hell of a lot of live gigs as solo artist.
Yeah,
and then into sessions. There must have been a time going. Did you ever miss those live days? Live band work again and going, I want to step back into that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult once you start earning good money to take another gamble. And I did that with the Mama's Boys thing. I gave up all my sessions to give that a try.
Yeah.
We toured around Europe, had an amazing time, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then, me saying earlier, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying, probably to Sarah.
Yeah.
Her saying, or someone saying to me, if there was an established band that you could join,
who would it be?
I loved, like you, all the rock stuff from that era.
Yeah.
I loved bands like Bad Company.
Yeah.
I loved all the AOR bands like Journey. Air Race were very much an AOR band based on that period of time. Journey, Foreigner, I loved it. And I remember saying I think it was to Sarah, well, it'd have to be a band like Foreigner
or someone.
And it's never going to be them because they've already got an amazing singer in Lou Gramm, who was a hero of mine anyway.
Sure.
And then we were in our flat in Battersea, and I got a call from someone at Atlantic because they were signed to Atlantic as well.
Were they?
I got a call from someone at the label saying, "Don't tell anyone this because this has only just happened. This is really private. But Lou Gramm has left Foreigner." and I've put you up for the gig.
What? Oh my God, man.
And I was like, firstly, I was a little bit depressed that Lou Gramm had left Foreigner, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, of course.
Because I loved the band.
You loved that sound.
But I was thinking, what?
Hang on a minute.
And I thought no more of it.
Okay.
And they can you send some stuff over? So I had to get some stuff biked over, and they were going to then send it off to America and all this stuff to Mick Jones from Foreigner. And literally 3 hours later, the phone rang, and it was Mick Jones from Foreigner ringing me from New York.
Jesus.
Saying, we're really interested in you, and could you fly over to New York? We'll sort your flight out and everything. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. So the weird thing was, I'd been on a world tour with Cliff at that time. We'd just done Australia and New Zealand. And we had a little gap before we went off to Europe, and it was in that gap. And I was contracted.
Oh, shit.
So I've got...
You were exclusive to the Cliff tour?
Well, I'd signed a contract, and you know as well as I do, in the session world, two things. You've got to turn up on time.
Yep.
And you've got to be reliable. You've got to turn up, basically.
Yeah.
And you don't let people down.
No.
Because if you do, your name is shit, and that's the end of it.
That's right.
And it's a small world, as we've talked about, you know?
Yeah.
So
God,
there's me on the phone to Mick Jones. They're asking me, and saying, well, I've only got 3 days, you know. And then they were like, well, don't worry, we can do it in 3 days. Get on a plane. So I'm literally, next minute, I'm on a flight to New York. And
what were you feeling?
My head was completely in a mess.
Oh, I bet.
Because I was thinking I had to pick up all the stuff to learn all the material. I didn't know.
You only had a couple of days.
Yeah, I had it overnight when I got there.
Shit, man.
And I had to. I was a fan, so I knew all the stuff, but I didn't know it that I could sing every song. Blah blah blah. You know.
Jeez.
So I'm literally. So I get there, and you know the old story of like when you go to an audition, you get limoed there, and you get sent home in a taxi.
Yeah, a bus or something.
What was the other way around? When I got there, I had to get a taxi to the thing, and
wow.
I stay in this, put up in this hotel in Central Park West, and I'm there all night with my cans on, my cassettes, like listening to all the Foreigner tracks. I don't know what they're going to ask. Next day, I was in SIR rehearsal studios to audition for Foreigner.
Oh, this is unreal, isn't it?
Oh, it was so bizarre, and I had mixed feelings because I thought from now on, whoever joins now, there'll never be another Foreigner for me again, because I know them like that. I'm a fan of them. Anyway, whatever. I was up all night listening to this stuff, and then next day I went in and did all the stuff. And it was like, all I can say to you is, it was like being in a Foreigner covers band. Except you had to pinch yourself and go, this is actually Foreigner.
It's Foreigner, man, and I'm singing it.
Yeah, and
I'm singing. I'm the lead vocalist right at this moment.
And they wound me up a bit. There was a song called Jukebox Hero, which was from the Foreigner 4 album, which I'd always loved anyway. And it was extremely, I'm a tenor.
Yeah.
And I could sing high.
Yeah.
And I regularly sang top C's. This was like, Lou Gramm had an incredible range. And there were top notes in this, which were unthinkable. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Anyway, so we go through all the songs. We do I Want to Know What Love Is, and there's a choir coming out. The guy's playing an emu, and they've got the whole New York gospel choir on it. It's like bizarre. And then I do this song, Jukebox Hero, and I'm sweating to get up to these notes.
Jesus.
And I get to the end of the song, and they're all kind of laughing at me. I'm thinking, oh, God.
I've blown
and
it.
And they were going, yeah, nice one, well done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a bit of a roast. And they went, yeah, we know that. Just wanted to try you out. Because we used to drop that at San Retone when we did it with Lou.
Oh my God, man! Seriously,
because obviously he had to do it night after night after night. Obviously,
yeah.
So anyway, so I finish the thing. I get taken out for lunch, and then I got asked to go and see. They had a manager at the time called Bud Prager.
Okay.
Who was a big heavyweight, old school manager.
Yeah.
And I get asked to with Mick Jones to go to Bud's office and have a meeting. So I'm like, shit, okay, well, what's this about? So I go to the meeting, and they were basically talking to me about the gig and saying that they wanted to offer me the job. They wanted to rent me a house in Long Island and for me to stay.
Hang on, this is just too much.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Man,
They wanted me to.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that they would take you because that's
Well,
who you are. But even so, the mere fact this is happening to you right now. I mean, carry on with the story.
Yeah.
But I just got really excited.
No, I get you. I feel you. Cause I feel the same. If someone else was telling me, but I can't even believe it. You know, to be honest. So they wanted me to stay. They were going to rent this house, and they wanted me to stay and start writing for the album. And I went, well, hang on a minute. This is little me saying, before I came, I told you I've only got 3. I'm starting a European tour the day after tomorrow. I've got to get back, and it's only 6 weeks, but I can't do anything for that. I'm contracted, and I thought, first of all, I couldn't be that guy that could just pull out of a tour with a day's notice. My name would be in shit.
Be mad, yeah.
Secondly, I'm thinking, well, okay, what if I do that? If I were to do that, which it was not my character anyway, but even if I were, they've had a bit of a tiff. And eventually, Mick and Lou kiss and make up, and then I'm out on my ear, and I'm back at square one again.
Oh man!
So I just said, look. And anyway, eventually, they obviously weren't used to people saying no to them, and I kind of get that. They were
of course,
massive band.
Who's going to say no to being lead singer?
And I wasn't saying no. I was just saying, look, just give me 6 weeks. I did tell you before I came, I was up front with you. I told you I'm in the middle of a tour. You must appreciate that. I'm sure you'd feel the same. And they said, okay, well, look, we're going to keep you in touch with you for the next 6 weeks or whatever, and then we'll be talking about get you a house and all that. It's just like, whoa. So, and they did stretch limo me back out.
Did they?
Home.
Oh,
and it's mental. So anyway, what happened? Gradually, as the tour went on, I hadn't heard, and then I started hearing through the grapevine that they'd been working with another singer, and they were impatient. They wanted to get on.
Yeah, of course.
I had a manager in LA at the time because I was kind of doing a bit of a solo career.
Yeah.
And he met that singer that did that album in a club in LA.
Okay. What's he saying?
And sometime later, he'd been dropped, and he wasn't happy. He didn't get his fair share of everything he was saying. This is what he was saying. And Lou Gramm was back in the band, so kind of wasn't far off.
Oh, wow.
But nevertheless...
What an incredible time.
Incredible experience.
Yeah, man.
To not only be working again with your heroes, but being asked to replace one, which was a bit...
Do you know what this is like? Do you know what this makes me feel? It's like, I was saying this before about how easy it is that everyone gets pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Right. I've touched on this before, I think, with Ian, and it's so easy. Like, actually, no one knows anything about one's life really. But I mean, God, man, what an experience! You've had so many experiences in your career.
Yeah, I've been so lucky.
It's not luck, man. You bloody deserve it. You've got the most incredible voice. But I mean, that Foreigner story alone is like, it's probably every singer of that sort of ilk his dream.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to go? I mean, I don't know what. I feel that was very honourable of you.
Well, I mean, you know, in conclusion, I consider myself very lucky to have had such a varied career, and I don't regret coming, like yourself, I don't regret becoming a session singer via the route that I did.
Christ, no.
I loved that period of my life.
Highly proud of it.
I'm really proud of it, and also I'm proud of being a session singer.
100%. It's been such a joy. I've learnt quite a bit as well, actually. There's quite a few things you're mentioning that I wasn't aware of so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, man.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Man, honestly.
Thank you for having me.
Real honour to have you on. I hope you guys loved it. I mean, it's Keith Murrell, unbelievable, man.
Look forward to watching all the others.
Thanks.